Okay, here we are back at number 6 on our list of 35 ways to improve your business now, specifically retail version. Number 6 is don't just sell a product. What do I mean by that? So anyone can go anywhere to buy the same product. You may be selling something and very close by, just down the street, just around the corner, you can buy exactly the same product. So that brings us into a price war. Do you become the cheapest? Should you price yours less than the others? Bottle shops, liquor stores do exactly this. They want to be the cheapest in the market, the cheapest right in the area. Now, the fastest way to lose money, I believe, is price yourself down. Lower your price, lower your price, lower your price. It's a far better way to increase the value of that product rather than just discount the product. So we want to value add what it is you're selling. And if we just refer here, you want to stand out from the rest, so you want your product to stand out. It doesn't want to be exactly the same product. It wants to be one step above that product that you're selling. How do you do this? You want to add value to that product. Now there's a phrase that I'm going to put below, and that phrase is, there's no strategic advantage being second cheapest. If you are not the cheapest, you may as well be the most expensive and add value to that product to make it worth it. There's no point being the most expensive if it's exactly the same product. Now, an example of this is a product I used to sell. There were many of them being sold all around the place, but the customer had to register this product. They had to go online and register it and stuff like that. So what we did, instead of just selling the product, we weren't the cheapest by any means, but when they bought it from us, we went online, grabbed their details and registered it for them there and then. It was a bit of a service that we added, and the word that we got back around the community was it's far better to buy from us, just because we took that extra step a little bit further than anyone else, and we did that for them. They were happy to pay a little bit more just to get that service side of things. So using that as an example, and I've just used another example here, adding value to the items that you sell will set you apart from your competition. So I used a butcher for an example. If you're a butcher selling beef, you might throw in some recipe cards and a spice rub or a gravy packet. So something that you're adding in with the item. And this is a little bit different to value add-on products, so where you sell a product and then you might have another product with it that upsells that product. This is something that you can add with that product just to make it more valuable, more enticing. So you could combine with a list of vegetables to go with it, and you've given a customer a complete solution to dinner, not just one ingredient. So go above and beyond your competitors and give a customer a reason to come back to you. So rather than they go to Coles or Woolies and just buy a packet of meat, if they could come to you, and even if you were more expensive, A, you'd get much better service, and B, you might get something with that to make it a more rounded meal. So I've just jumped onto Google here just to give you a bit of a visual example. If we can get back here. Okay. So having a look at this, just to keep the butcher as an example, this is a butcher's case full of meat. It's a little bit, now I just have to say I'm not a butcher, but I do eat meat, I do love it, and I do love merchandising. So those things together, I do constantly stare into butchers' display cases. So I do like the way they're merchandised and things like that. So all of what you can see here is just a display case full of meat, and although it looks nice, the merchandising isn't so nice, and the way they've got their cuts there, and behind the cuts they've got their whole racks that they've come from. It's just a little bit messy. When you throw some colour in there, and I'm just going to show, just by throwing some colour in makes all the difference to the visual merchandising. So I do love that. But what I really wanted to touch on was the value add. So you could buy some chops or lamb chops or whatever, or pork chops, or you can already buy marinated pork chops in 3 or 4 different marinations. That's an excellent example, because for the cost of marinade, you can marinate all these chops. You could charge more for it, and people would happily pay more for those already marinated. So when they get home, they don't have to do anything to it, they can just cook it and eat it. Same with this one. So flank steak, they can just buy a piece of flank steak, or they could come to you and buy a flank steak that is already rolled up and stuffed. So again, when they get home, all they have to do is throw it in the oven and cook it, not have to worry about it. So that's just some visual ideas of adding value to your product, and that's what I really want to drive home. Remember that phrase that I told you? There's no strategic advantage being second cheapest. If you are not the cheapest in your area for selling exactly the same product, you may as well be the most expensive. So add value to that product to make it worth it. So when people see it, it's very clear as day, yes, it's worth paying that extra money. So that's what I wanted to touch on, and that's what we mean. Don't just sell a product, sell a solution, sell a complete solution, and really stand out from your competitors. Thanks very much for watching. As a bonus for reaching the end of this video, I'd love to give you a bit of a gift. It is a free guide, 35 ways to improve your business. No matter what your business, be it a brick and mortar store, maybe you have an e-commerce store online, perhaps you even have a market stall, any of these sorts of versions of retail, this guide will be able to help you. Just download the guide by clicking the link at the bottom of this video, and follow through and download that. As a bit of a bonus as well, I'll shoot you back some questions, and you are entitled to an obligation-free online business analysis. This is a bit more tailored to your business. If you answer the questions that I email back to you, I'll put together something that's a little more specific for your use. So this is obligation-free, and it won't cost you anything at all. So some ideas for you there. And a third little bonus just for watching my videos and hopefully joining my membership is the ClickFunnels Brick and Mortar Summit, which is a video series on brick and mortar marketing. So some good video series there from the guys at ClickFunnels that will also be sent through to you there. So some good free little things for you to help your marketing, your store and your retail gig. Hopefully you can go through and download those, and by all means hit subscribe to get any more tips and tricks that I send through, and hopefully join the membership below as well. Within that membership, you're going to constantly get updates and receive a whole bunch of valuable information as well. So go ahead and do that, and best of luck with your journey.